I got Somalians as neighbors, and I talked to one of them, and I asked him about this whole Somalian fraud that's going on in Minnesota. And one of the guys explained it to me this way. He said back in Somalia, a lot of them come from clans. And Muslims have this thing where their spoils, even their Prophet Muhammad, whatever, he would go out and plunder people, and the spoils of war would be considered rightfully theirs. And whenever they would go to a place and they would subjugate the non-believers, they would put a tax on them. So he's like, the Somalians believe in Minnesota their plunder is rightfully theirs, and it's just a tax that the white people are paying for the Somalians, to, you know, for them, to the Muslims, to the non-believers. And so they do not comprehend the Western laws. They don't understand it. It doesn't compete to their Sharia law that they're practicing. And so there's outrage. And so he explained this one little thing to me. He's like, in their religion, they're permitted to lie. So when you see all these Somalians in Minnesota, you know, being outrageous that their fraud is being exposed, he's like, they're permitted to lie. They're permitted to tax the non-believers. They're permitted to practice their Sharia law. They're permitted to plunder because in their belief system, it is rightfully theirs. So they don't understand why all these people are upset about, all this fraud that's going on, because they've been practicing all the stuff they've been doing in Somalia. You know, they just brought their belief system here, and they do not understand why everyone's outraged. And, you know, so that's just, and I was like, well, that kind of makes sense. I guess if you raised up in one belief system, you went to another, and then, you know, you're upset why they're upset that you're marrying a 6-year-old. That's kind of been happening. So that's quite interesting. But here in Idaho, there's a very good Somalian population, and three doors house from me, a Somalian family lives, and sometimes I would talk to them. So it's
the Somali community has decided to respond to the American public learning about their massive fraud schemes that total in the billions of dollars by holding a press conference where we're supposed to feel bad for them. But here's the thing. It didn't go as planned. The entire thing was a massive backfire, starting with this clip of a mother who stands there and says the truth instead of lying, and then has a literal heart attack on stage. Here we go.
If childcare is cut, I'm unable to work or go to school. I understand fraud is bad.
This is how endemic fraud is in the Somali community. You can't just say fraud is bad. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. She looks like she was about to be excommunicated for simply saying fraud is bad. And then everybody claps, and all the liberal white ladies clapping. And by the way, those liberal white ladies, they're daycare workers. One of them hopped up on the mic and did the exact same thing. Here we go.
And I do see some signs over here that say stop fraud, and I agree, stop it. There are wait lists for these programs that are years long. There is fraud,
fraud in the light. Yeah, when Trump said they're not sending their best, this is what he's talking about. But it gets even more unbelievable. Somali fraud daycare owner hopped up on stage and decided to announce that his daycare had been broken into, and guess what the burglars stole? All of his employment records and all of the records of the children getting checked in. Those would, of course, be the records that the feds would use to put him in prison. And while he's sitting there sobbing, trying to make you feel sorry for him, people on the internet noticed that he's wearing a $3,000 pair of glasses, designer glasses, some of the most expensive glasses you can buy. These glasses are like $50, by the way. I wouldn't even know what to do with a $3,000 pair of glasses, but this Somali scammer is literally wearing glasses more expensive than maybe your car, certainly more expensive than my first car. So, yeah, I don't feel bad. And I won't feel bad when they're denaturalized and deported, which is exactly what needs to happen.